Light stream interference, data stream line conditions, rotation centers, high force line conditions, interchanges, high liners. Linear interference, program setting, reset, communications, all levels of computer rotation. Understanding your physical line is to understanding you through division. Understanding your avatar is understanding through space-time. So what's on the ground line center? Physical, right? Physical line doesn't leave. It's just understand the telepathy from one to another, two into one line interference. Not in three, not in four, not in five, not in six, not in seven. Only one. So what is the central line center locations, all level division locations of its avatar system? One. What is the location interference location like Hawking center line conditions, all levels of its program setting? One. What is the illumination graph line center locations, digital frame line center location, alphabetical stream center? One. What is the modifications to its circle line interference locations clocking system? One. What is the modification line conditions, energy and lightning center line conditions, avatar connections? One. Do you see what I'm saying? Everything is one. Right? There's no separation to anything. The problem that you guys are having is you're not in calculation, which is okay. It's a learning process. You have to really wake up to you, not separation of you, but who are you? Do you know who you are? Do you want to know who you are? Do you want to remember who you are? Right? Question, 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 question. What is a question? Well, calculation, what is that? What is a question mark? Let's get into that. What is a question mark? What is a question mark? What is it all about? Right? What is a question? What are we questioning? What is a question? Do you see the separation? All right. So, discernment, calculation, modification, abundance, surrender, in position locations, 8-line condition. No more separation. Right? High channel line center, circle interference, high position locations. See the intelligence? See the intelligence coming in? So in high line center interference, high position location line conditions comes in position location to its track center. It's very powerful. You have come in position location to its line conditions. There's the intelligence. See? See the intelligence? Ooh-ah. What is that? Mutation, right? Communications, high line signals, right? Teenage Mutant Turtles. So I'm just showing you what you can do through an 8-line center. So what did I do through a question mark? I turned it into something else. So your provisional locations, high level system line conditions, you could change high line center and turn it into a data streamlining interference, data stream. But it always has intelligence. Its location to its connections always has its intelligence. See? So you have to understand calculation. Now, if you look at the high line center interference, you can understand position locations. It's all levels of channel intelligence, right? See? Everything is forms of intelligence of travel. So it's better that you understand that there's no separation in all level divisions. The only thing you're separating is trying to figure out, who am I? Why am I here on this planet? Well, it's understanding you through the grounds. It's understanding you through the connections of center and you through the atmospheres, guys. That's all it is. That's all it is. Simplifies everything, doesn't it? Understanding the grounds of you, understand the powers and the atmospheres of you, right? So we got 1 position locations, 2 in direct line centers, and 3 in the atmosphere. 1, 2, 3, right? Always have critics, always have audience. Okay, so we circle 1, we circle 2, we circle 3. All right. In calculations, we bring the 2-line center into the power line center interference. Now, everything I do is intelligence of frame. Try to think of it as structure. Try to think of it as a TV show. So you're taking 1, 2, and 3 in position location to its triangulation, right? Setting signals in position, right? In calculations, you're modifying its position location to its direction. See? See the UFO? High signal interference line conditions, all levels. Now you go in position location, that's line conditions. See? UFO. High rotation interference, here's another one. Back force line conditions. High challenge position locations. See that? See it? Praying mantis. So it's truly stating that anything can mutate its high center. to understand what you're doing through calculation is all levels of memory. Memory is the most important thing, and it's a cycle line center location to its brain system locations. It's high channel and side line center in calculation to its position. All right. So it's all about what you're doing through drawing centers. Now this looks like a plasma line center, but no more in position location. It comes into triangle interference location of the plateau interference locations of point system location to its location system. Right. So it plats to its division location next to 8,000 line conditions, scans its high center and center rotation. So everything that I draw is all levels of intelligence. You have to learn to balance these things out. That's what life is all about. There's no separation. You only separate you through your thoughts. So if your thoughts are separated, you're separated. All right? Let's go into thought. Big jump here. Okay, there's a thought. Okay, now you understand, what is a thought? How do I use that? Well, you understand travel. Okay, very simple, very easy. There, traveling, right? Now, what H is? What is H? What does H stand for? Well, that depends on you, the avatar. Once you understand more memory, you come in position location, what it is. You can come into levels of being happy, right? Traveling happy. Ooh-ah. Then you got all the center line conditions operation. You're operating your position location to your travels of being happy through operation. Try to use your thought patterns. Each letter is traveling through acceleration line conditions, guys, right? Operation, right? Now you got the U, unified. You're unifying your system to location, your teleportation, unified. Okay, G, grounds, people, grounds. You need grounds of your thoughts. H, hemisphere. High levels that you need an atmosphere change. So you're in the hemisphere, all right? And T, teleportation. So it's interesting how you're traveling through teleportation locations all through a thought, right? Try to change your mindsets and how you use your rhythm patterns, interference, location, news calculations. Okay? That helps you in all ways and forms. All right, so you got the calculations from what you watched yesterday. So we're going to go through TV line center. It's amazing how we go through TV line center, box line channel. See? Got into the bunny ears, the antenna. Then the high line center interference location is going to travel position locations. Right? See how I changed the position? Calculation all division. See? All right, so as we come into that, we come into the vector core, sliding line center interference, travel position location line conditions. All right, so we go to the ground line rotations. There it is. There's the TV, right? TV interference, 4 box channel line centers of point locations. All right, this gets confusing. Now, you guys are going to travel to the high line center in calculations. All right, so go through all levels. Okay, we got the crew units, squad 1s and 2, and position locations of GFLs, the rebellion, and everything through the Senate Masters. In calculation line centers, we go into the I, okay, equals line center, country communication, you know which country we're going through. Box line interference, okay, travel position location to ground interference. Vector communication cycle, high centers, right? So that isolates its high rotation line condition interference location of its channel. It opens all line centers. Now we go into the coloration line system. Let's eliminate the graph line center to reception line. Okay, we're going to travel through that high system location to its calculation, to its division. All right. So all that information is going to change the graph interference. Snowy graph high channels, high line in rotation, its calculations. All right. Box interference line conditions coming into triangle interference of 369 plateau, right? In its calculation modification cycle. Reset line center interference, more security line defense. Rotation to its interference line system. Calculation modification to its calculation system. All right, so with the graph line center line interference, okay? So in position location, we take the I, okay, in calculations, and we go in slash line centers, okay, to the N, okay, high center line interference, the D, all right, and the center line position location of I, and everything through A. In high interference, high position location line conditions. Now we change the reverberation channel line center to all level calculations. Ground line center interference location is calculation. So we take the 3, 6, and 9. We platted this division to a new clocking center of 12 positions, right? 3, 6, 9, and 12. That rotates its center line in a rotation, its calculations. sets up a new crop circle location to its calculation. So we got the sun line center and position locations. It's on a red cycle. It's on a security line defense line. There's the sun. Comes in this center position location to its direction. Okay, high channels. Now the moon is on a south wind cycle and rotations, okay, to its each side position. Calculation modification to its side center. So as the moon comes into center position, they correlate through each other. All right. So we get a sonic boom to a dimensional lock. Signals its position open up to its position line center. Sonar interference comes into all levels. Now we set the course line center line conditions into high channeling. Now high channeling location comes into all levels of Saturn. Saturn comes into high center location to its solar graph. There's Saturn, right? Setting signal location in its division to its center position. Okay, open all track line center, setting positions of a delta wave line center. Sets the signals, right? Signals are coming out to high center interference. Now in calculations, we go into 3 line rotation line conditions. See the V line center? All right, so the V line center comes into calculations. We set a streamline center right in the high line rotation into purple location. All right, that purple location changes top line centers interference. Program setting position location line conditions. So all levels of division. So in modification cycles, interference of channeling is truly understanding what you're doing through the vector core line channel. In calculations, we come into all level divisions. We center its high system. All right. Now, as you're setting a high system line center, you have to understand the reverberation channel. Now, reverberation channel is this vibration. Actually, changing the graph interference sets up a new vector line center. Okay. Now it gets complicated because now we're using a ground line center location to its country. And that country is changing its position location of center operation line system. As it comes into modification line conditions, it high streams its system to data processing. Setting signals, locations, right? Setting graph line centers, crosswind and cycles. Signal and position location interference. Sets a new graph line interference locations, right? Center its high center into a waving circle location to its calculation, right? Center its position locations to the sun, back in track system, back to communication of the moon. Now the moon sets a high line center interference to its calculations. This is where we come into the mega channel. Now the mega channel comes into the blue cycle. So we set up sonar line centers, okay? Setting signals out in high system. Calculation modification line condition, right? Opens up all channel line centers. Now we're going to set up new crop circles. All right, crop circles are coming in. All right, ground center interference locations. Tunnel interference line conditions. All right, here's the tunnel in high rotation. That's where we're going, right? All right, so coming in portal defense line conditions, code signal location, crew units, squads 1 and 2, everything to GFL they're buying, and everything through all levels of center masters are go into the tunnel line center line interference. Okay, so as you go into the tunnel line interference, you guys are going into a waving cycle. All right, so you're inside line center. All right, so you're going to be basically kind of like a land speeder across signals. Okay, so it's kind of like amazing drop interference position locations. You guys are going to channel entire line division. Right, so here. All the signals to its all alliance. All right, so as it's coming in communication interference, we travel to high line center. We travel to position location line conditions. Now we come into our levels. Now the track interference location is done through equation. Crop circles is high center line rotation. So we got crop circle here, crop circle here, crop circle here, crop circle here. High rotation line conditions. We use the rotary spin line centers, the flywheel interference. Now we in position location line conditions, right? Okay, those are pot marks. Now pot marks are set up as a location next to the 1000 line condition coloration, scanning its position. All right. Fly altimeters, high liners at channel location lock connections. As it's coming into a high line in rotation, it's in a formation line condition. All right. So we illuminate the graph line center, changes purple interference location. This changes the triangle interference location Bermuda Triangle. Sets a course center line in different rotations. Center position, center position, center position, center position. Okay, see how it's all set up? All right, so as it's set up, it's in calculation. All right, so we set up sonar line interference, right, to each line condition. 3 position line centers, 3,000 line conditions of the sun, rotation interference, location line conditions. Right, that's all set up. As it's setting up position locations, high channel and high system, we come into the water defense line. Now the water defense line is set up at levels. Okay, this is where we come into the Bermuda Triangle. Now we got the 144, okay, equals, okay, 1,000 lines. Okay, equals 1,000 lines, slash equals lines. Okay, in calculations, we bring that in position locations to a new channel line center. Okay, bring a new division location to its calculations, opens up a new portal interference. Okay, as it goes in the portal interference, we go back in calculations. Now we take the blue plasma light interference to all position location to its calculation. Now what that does is it sets a new signal in high system. All right, so it's in the center. It's in the center. Everything's in left the interference. Okay, there it is. Right, see it? Now that high challenge its high position. All in signal and high system. All right, it's all in calculations. 4 waving line centers of XT 1,000 line condition interference back into the 144. 1,000 line equals the line system location. Now the portal interference locations, okay, we're going to dip and cycle high channel and side line and rotation interference. Going to go to our level calculations, right? Setting up the opposition locations of Thunder Bay. Coming in seat line center and interference locations all levels of the sleeping giant. Okay, here's the sleeping giant, right? So we're going to take the 144 and high line rotation, set up the course system, triangulate its force line center in calculation to equal square. Okay. Now in position locations, we change the water interference, center its position location to its direction. Okay. See the high line interference. Now we come into our levels of a new teleportation line stream. Okay. It's coming in position. Scans its high line center to all level connection. Right. As it's scanning its high line rotation interference, it set up a new all level connections to a ground interference and rotation to its position location to its calculations. High channels all levels waking up the sleeping giant. Now the sleeping giant to all level connection of Thunder Bay is open to triangle in position location, electrical lights, electrical panels, electrical interference in position location line conditions. It's all done through the 144, right? So we go back into high center line interference, okay, to the 4 waving cycles of teleportation line centers, XT 1,000 line conditions. All right, we set a recourse to high division locations to all levels. Now, what we do is we change the line streams of the laser direction line system, location to its position location line conditions, high channel and side line center. See the coloration? Change the coloration line interference, changes all levels position of the ground interference locations. All right, it's amazing what we're doing through track center. It's incredible force. See how it comes in signal? All right, so as it's coming in signal, it's going to fly its high line centers back in communication all levels. Triangular interference line condition all level system, okay, into the sun line connection. Now the sun is sitting on signal, okay? The sun's coming in a new illumination graph center. There's the sun position location, right? As it's coming in, it's setting up light beam triangles, communication interference, right? Setting course line centers, all position location is line conditions, right? All right, so as the light codes come in, we set up the water interference line condition to its position, right? In calculations, now, all center line centers coming into new track interference. XT thousands are coming out of position locations, out of the sun, out of its portal. Coming in position, zip, zap, zoom. There's one here, zip, zap, zoom. There's one here in position. That's where you are through triangle. Coming in on the sun line center, setting up laser direct location to its position. 3 line triangles in high center on interference. Calculation modification to its connections. High channelings, high rotation line centers. All right, so the sleeping giant is awake. It's in the 144 line connections. It's all about understanding how to use provisional location to its directional line system. Now we go back in calculation. Force track interference of high line center interference line condition T reception lines. Opens all communications. All right. So it high signals its high center. Now, when you're high signaling, you have to understand calculation modification high conditions. Now we're in this reverse line in rotations, back in calculations. You go back in calculation rotation. So you go back in high signal, up into high signal, back in communications, back into portal interference. All right. So as you're back in the portal interference locations, we go back in the ground line centers, back into levels, identification I and DIA, connection line centers, box triangle, box communication, box center. So that box center now is position location on your TV reception line center into all levels of communication cycle. Reset line center interference, ground line center positions in a full communication to an atom line center rotation interference location of its channel. Plasma lights, plasma communication cycle, reset line centers in calculation. So as it's coming in, we're coming into a new webbing graph line rotation units calculation. It's high channel and high position locations to new satellite connections. Satellite here in high center, satellite here in high line center, satellite here in high line center. 3 satellite center line positions. Now we change the coloration path into green interference. This comes into the heart line center rotation interference location line connection. It opens all channel line in rotation to its ground system to its all level position location to its position. All right, done. Ooh-ah. Done through equation. All right. All right. So as they're done in high center line connection, you guys are traveling to what you're doing through calculation. All right. So I'm going to recourse and we're going to go through all levels. I want to really get into triangles. Calculation to its modification line conditions to understand what triangles are of all 3, 6, and 9. Setting course line center and interference locations. All right. It's interesting it comes into it. Looks like Black and Decker because that's what it is. Right. So what is that doing? It's vacuuming its position locations, setting up sonar line center. So what is it doing? It's taking out the negative line center location of 369 patterns interference location to its calculations, setting new channel interference location to travel. Opens all triangle line interference location line conditions. All right. So when you travel through that, you can travel through anything in high system, all through Black and Decker. The vacuum. So I'm vacuuming communications and sealment line centers of 369 patterns of a new triangle interference to a new coloration path coming in full communications of the sunlight connection. Ooh-ah, done through equation. All right, so you really have to understand how you get into more of imagination to his calculations. But you guys did a fantastic job. So in modification cycles, resetting line center line interference, how we set course. You have to understand what you're doing through triangles, what you're doing through shapes, what you're doing through letters, numbers, and anything that's course system. It locates its connections, right? So let's say you get into a triangle interference. What is triangle interference? Well, what is it interfering with? What is the communication to its interface? You're interfacing something, right? So let's say you get in an argument situation line centers to you through position locations and try to understand its triangles. What is it through calculations you're going? Okay, hypothetically. What do I do? Right? So it's all about scanning the high system location first. Understand what you're seeing. Now in position location, it communicates back with you, but it sets up its E-fields, right? It doesn't have to be a formation of you. It can be a triangle. It can be anything through shape. It's intelligent looking at you, okay, as you're looking. So it's to understand what understands its position locations and understands its lights, its high system. So this is the formation of what it is through triangle location of its position, right? As it comes into calculation, it scans you through the mind line center, right? If you don't have your E-fields up, you are taken over through position through a triangle, right? That's why it's important to keep your E-fields up. So if you don't understand your travel position locations, you're going to have a huge, huge problem. All right. So it's important that you know what you're doing when you are coming into scan. All right. Scan through this. What is this? 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 What is that? What is it? What is it? What does it look like to you? It's an orb. So each round represents its time. Let's see all those black spots. Each one is a timeline. Each one has a clocking system. That's where it gets really interesting when you see them all across your room. It's in modification system locations, light connections. My computer voice is changing adaptation cycles. I'm showing you how fast I can change my voice grid locations to low back into where I am. See, different vibration, different connections, different travel, different mechanism in the system. Change the core line centers and position locations. See? It's amazing how you come into confusion. See, from this to this, different color, right? Right? Is it the same intelligence? No, because it's different. So what's happened now is it's integrated into one. Once it understands this process, it gets into a level system, a changing coloration path. So it becomes another intelligent line center into mutation locations into one cycle, to a clocking locations. Ooh, different color, different realm, different connection. So everything that you see here is all different clocking of travel. Every letter is traveling through you, through your thoughts. And that's why it's so important to understand how to use your thoughts and how it represents to you through travel, right? Traveling through happy of operation, unified to its grounds of its teleportation. You have to learn how to change the way you do things in your routines, right? So everybody sees these things, you know. You see them in your room, you see them flying around, trying to figure out what it is. Well, that's exactly what it is. It's all calculations of you, trying to understand you through calculation. So once it understands you through position location, it opens up its triangle. It opens up its plasma line center, right? So it starts traveling to its connections, right? So you got to ask yourself, is it coming in or going out? Is it coming in the atmospheres of you or is it going out? What is it doing? See, I set up a high line center of 12 DNA track and interference locations of travel, securing line defense, right? So is it coming at you or is it going away from you? Right? This is truly standard when it comes into confusion. That's where you come into the Fibonacci sequence. So in calculations, it's going out. So, it's all what you see through perception. Everything that you see is nothing but TV reception. It's all connected to what you see through the sun, and it's all connected to what you see through the moon, right? Modify your signal locations of lights and everything, position location, all direction line center, interference location to its modem. Wi-Fi connections and interference. So if you put your position locations of your thoughts and you change your high centers in calculations, you know exactly what you're doing through the eye system. Okay? Everything is through the eye system. All right? So it's all about changing the eye line center to all level position of travel locations. See the intelligence? Everything is form of intelligence. Vector V line center and interference location line connections, right? Travel position locations, all levels into a pyramid. That's what you got from eye line center location of its connections. Change coloration path, comes into light signals. Sonar interference of alpha wave channel. Sonar is going out off of the pyramid. So, and you can colorate the pyramid line rotation, anything through color, right? It's all about understanding you through memory. And when you understand the memory, it's given to you. But drawing these things is all levels of you through its connection, right? So I'm just showing you how powerful it is when you travel to all division. There's no separation. The only thing that you're separating is you through your thoughts. So again, if you have a thought in calculations, all right? Now let's just go easy on formation line centers. Let's go through cat, right? You got C and you got A and you got T. Is it cat? No. Is it put together? No. How do I put it together? Change your thoughts. Put yourself going forward in calculations. Then it comes in division to its calculation. Cat. Ooh-ah. Triangulation. Okay. Calculation modification. There's the triangle. See? Cat. Right? So if you're separating your thoughts, you're separate in your mind, of your imagination. These are things you have to understand. It's so easy to do these things, guys. Your alphabetical system is truly understanding you more, right? But do you understand the provision? Do you understand the connections of its tactics? So let's go into all levels, okay? Okay, going to tattoo. Now it's all together, right? but you change the tattoo in what? In locations to, connections to what? What did I just do from tattoo? I turned it into a car. All through alphabetical stream. You guys have to learn how to do these things. It's all about mutating everything to connections, because if you don't, you get confused all through triangles. You get taken over through program. All right. So where we're at through division here. All right. Mutation is everything through transformation, guys. All right. Okay, Max, how's it going? Ellen, how's it going? All right, Jill, how's it going? Steph, how's it going? Ambi, how's it going? Airbender, how's it going? Heather, how's it going? Michael, how's it going? Johnny, how's it going? Daniel, how's it going? Pam, how's it going? Terry. Gypsy. It's great to see everybody. Make sure you know what you're doing when you're traveling through the mind. Chris. All right. It's a lot going on, eh? I have to do these things very, very fast because the coordinates is on all levels of connections. So. Hello, Jess. How you doing? Okay. Take high line center line condition level Jess out of equation. There you go. Jess, you're out. If you don't get your grounds, you're all over the place, guys. All right. Setting high signals and interference in calculation. This is what it is to division. All right, try to understand this to calculations. This is you through the ground system. That's you through the ground system. Now it's true to standing, you're setting up what? Sonar. Oh, look at this. That's what you're doing. That's all you're doing every single day, right? Okay, you're sending out sonar. Okay, you're setting out signals. That's all you're doing. You're setting out signals. That's all you're doing every single day. And so if you're not in the ground line center, your satellites are going to go on like this. No connection. So what are you doing? You're confusing your avatar. Make up your mind what direction you want to go. You're here waiting. All right, you're flying in recognition. That's you. It's your avatar. You're waiting. Right? But you're confused. What's going on? I'm confused. To show you how powerful it is, why you have to understand the connections of what's going on with your satellites, because you are the satellite of the 1%, but this is you waiting to understand the signals. That's all it is, guys. That's all this is, right? So the connection to the Merkaba is the base. The tester is his computer, and the tester agent is his location, your satellite. You are the connections to the levels of its avatar, of its computer. All right, so now you know why it's so important to get direction of what you're doing through provision, okay? Now think about that for a second. That's the most important thing when you get up in the morning. How do you feel? What is going through your mind? Your mind, people. All right? So we're going to take you out of track line centers, interference, position, location, all levels of crews, squads, units 1 and 2, high center and interference, back in calculations, all one division locations, back where they are to calculate rotations, modify signal and interference locations. Take the GFLs, the rebellion, and the cinemasters into all level positions back in calculation. There you go. Now you're out. But it's amazing how we travel. All right? Travel is all levels of you. But if you don't have position locations, you get into confusion. Ooh-ah. All right. So that was fun. I enjoyed it. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Questions or comments, let me know. It's all about you. Okay? And just remember that you are you. There's no separation. You're only separated if you say you're separated. So what are you doing? You're separating your thoughts. If you're separating your thoughts, you're separating what? Your signals. If you're setting the signals, what are you separating to that position locations? Your activations. So if you're trying to connect to something, what are you connecting to and why are you connecting to it? And why is it important to connect to it? Why? It's the how. It's the how of all operation of what the avatar is in calculation. This is the mind. This is the heart. This is the soul. This is the base. This is the physical line 1%. This is you. Ooh, ah. Understand? Hope so. Good. All right. So that was a lot of fun. Questions or comments? Let me know. You guys have a fantastic day. Adios.